Alright, Savory Eats video today, Wednesday, 14 August 2024. Got a Nissin Cup of Noodles. I've done this before, so this is the 14 August 2024 edition from me, Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, to you, whoever you may be. And Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, Tanis Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle. And this is my YouTube channel, Tanis Leonhardi, at least currently, so I'm going to open it up. Oh yeah, I like to get it so the noodles are nice and plump. Some people like it with more broth, so they don't let it sit as long, but I like it when the noodles are all plump, and then I mix them up a little bit. But there's not a whole lot of room to mix them up because they've kind of plumped as big as they can plump. Yeah. Alright, so this is my lunch today. I have a smaller lunch because at least currently, depending on where I am in life, my lunch size has been variable. But if I exercise afterwards, a smaller lunch, this is good. It gets me some sodium electrolytes, which is good for working out. Since I sweat a fair amount when I work out, depending on the type of exercise. So following up on the dinner table conversations I had on yesterday, Tuesday, with my parents when we were at dinner, and I guess Kona dog sitting under at the table or in the dining room as well. I managed to get Dominique Supposly when I met him through as well, after I moved to Albany, which is approximately July, August 2016. And I talked about a few of the different houses in Woodway, and one house has like a deck, but I can't tell if it's like a wood deck or like a faux wood deck, and has like chickens or turkeys or something. And I brought it up, and it turns out Dad knows the people who lives there, or is friends with people who live there, or is friends with people who are friends of people who live there, something like that. And so I brought that house up, and then uphill from that house is a pale yellow house, which I was like, my granddad Andrew used to have a house in Wedgwood, which my sister has since purchased and repainted. But I was like, it's the same, it's a pale yellow, kind of like the Wedgwood house was, and I like brought that up, and Dad was like, yeah, it was a pale yellow, and then the kids went and painted it. So like, my sister, Lindsay, I only have one sibling, at least currently, older sister, she wasn't necessarily a fan of the color. So she and her boyfriend at the time, or just hers, anyway, they painted the house. It's not the same as it was. But it's an interesting house because there's a deck out back, kind of like the deck at the Wedgwood house, the one that was pale yellow that my mom grew up in. And there's a slight hill, kind of like the Wedgwood house. And so it's kind of funny because, you know, back when I started running through that and past that, 2007 plus or minus a year, the house, I was kind of like, it's kind of like the Wedgwood house, you know. And so I brought that one up, and then I brought up across the street from those two is kind of a house that has like two driveways and little flag kind of things where you can hang flags from, or set up for that. I was like, maybe Dominique, you know, buys that one, and then for the 2026 World Cup, Soccer World Cup, where I think the quarterfinals are supposed to be in Seattle, I was like, maybe you throw as a slumber party. And if that doesn't work, like if they make it, you know, the Hungarian team, and if that doesn't happen, maybe it's a Hungarian banquet hall. Maybe Sarah Stroshan buys a house closer to the town hall that has the same kind of flag thing. It kind of has like a Scandinavian or Bavarian design to it. I'm doing a good job of chopping the noodles up. That's also a nice thing about making them plumper. They're not quite so stringy. I just hit my tooth with the fork. That's no good. Gotta be more careful. Me. But my mom was like, well, maybe you could slow down sometime and go through. And I think I've driven the walk run loop with Mom before, my mom. And we might have even walked it at some point. I was like, watching me move in with Josh, and if they have enough money and it's available, or the conditions arise where we think we might be fit, buy the pale yellow house, and then offer it to my parents. Like, do you want the house? And if they say yes, they can have it, and if no, then we keep it. Or we keep it and then Jacob goes, I want it. Or something like that. So, where's like, yeah. I think they have been talking about, and they kind of talked about growing up that they would like to keep this house. And to have it as a place where we could call on them a bit if we need to, kind of like I have right there. Which is still a little bit of a, or maybe a big bit of a sensitive subject with me. I just want to move in with my he. He doesn't even have to present himself as my boyfriend. Yeah, I'm ready. Come get me. And then I was like, for the World Cup stuff, soccer World Cup, I brought up maybe Cristiano Ronaldo of Portugal will be here. And Dad kind of nodded his head like he knew who that was. And I was like, or Kylian Mbappe of France. And Mom was like, Mbappe. or she remembered him. So we talked about him. Previously in the car. There's also, I guess, a Leon house. But I've got all four of them in dinner table conversations. Yesterday or the day before. Josh, Jacob, Leon, and Dominique. I guess Kylian and Cristiano as well. .26 out of 10. And thank you for joining me.